It was a night of milestones in the first game of this series. Tonight, game 2 in the series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weren welcoming you to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Braves trying to make it 2 straight over the Pirates. What an exciting way to open up the homestand last night. John Smoltz winning his 20th game. Mark Wohlers tying a club record with his 30th save. Andrew Jones hitting his first major league home run. And almost overlooked in all the excitement, the return to Atlanta of one of the Braves' most popular players between 1991 and 1994, third baseman Terry Pendleton. We thought you'd like to hear how he feels about coming back home. Let's go down to the field now. Here's Don Sutton.
All right, Pete, thank you very much. We're visiting with Terry Pendleton. A writer once said, I think his name was Thomas Wolfe, that you can never go home. I don't think you'll agree with him.
Not at all, believe me. I am very happy to be at home now.
You know, last night, and I modeled a few different uniforms, was in a few different ballparks myself, but when you came to bat last night, I don't think I have ever seen a more genuine, warm outpouring of affection than the fans here gave you.
Well, I'll tell you, it got to me, to be totally honest with you. I had to back up and regroup a little bit myself, but it's great. It's great to feel wanted and to feel appreciated the way these fans have appreciated me. And believe me, I appreciate their generosity and hospitality again.
Well, you've been away for a little while. How does it feel? Was it like you took a vacation, or was it like you got transferred to another city? Stepping back into this uniform, how does it feel?
Well, it felt, you know, when I showed up in Philly, it felt like when I walked in the clubhouse, the way the guys received me, it's like I just taken a vacation, decided, hey, I better get back to work. And it was a giant plus. I mean, it made me feel warm, made me feel welcomed again, and I was real happy with that.
When you were here before you left, you had evolved into a role of the team leader. You could see things take place on the field. You knew you sensed what needed to be done. Is it easy to move back into that role, or do you just wait to see what evolves?
Well, let me say this. I came over here with the attitude that I'm going to do whatever it takes to help. This is their clubhouse here. I'm coming over to try to fit in and do whatever's necessary here. But from talking to a number of people, I might need to do a few things around here. So I'm going to wait around a couple more days and see what happens. But I will say this. I haven't changed. Terry Pendleton hasn't changed. And whatever it takes for us to win over here, if it takes me jumping in and saying something or whatever else it may take, you can believe I'll be there.
And I have a feeling there are a lot of people who want you to do that. We're all glad you're back. We'll be right back, give you the starting lineups, get game 2 of the series underway right after we take a timeout. Exchange, there's a little bit of a delay. When the lineup cards were presented out there, Jim Beecham immediately came back to the dugout, bringing his lineup card that was made out by Bobby Cox over there. And they have been doing some scribbling and some rewriting. Jim Leyland took a look at it. That last time we've had team captain, Captain Leyland, is Captain Cox, Captain Leyland. They haven't had the towing costs in the dugout in a long time. But apparently, with all the roster changes, and I'm only speculating here, apparently maybe some names that were not on there, but we'll try to check and we can see if we can see what is causing this delay. But there was some sort of mix-up on the lineup card presented by the Atlanta Braves, and that is being rectified now. And speaking of lineups, why don't we, thanks to the people at Pep Boys, run through the starting lineup for you. We hope this is what it's going to be. This is what we were led to believe. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jermaine Allensworth to lead it off. Al Martin in left field will bat in the second spot. It is the right fielder Orlando Merced hitting third. Cleanup hitter second baseman Jeff King. Big Mark Johnson at first base will bat fifth. Charlie Hayes, big hit last night for the Pirates, will bat in the sixth spot and play third. Hitting seventh, it's the shortstop Jay Bell. Batting eighth, young rookie sensation and a fine catcher, Jason Kendall. And Steve Paris will be batting ninth. Now the lineup cards, they have to match. I mean, what you send out there has to be what you have available. And it looked like when Jim Leyland took a look at that, he is the one who pointed it out to Jim Beecham. And as I said before, we will check into this and see what we can find out. But apparently everybody is happy now. We'll see if there is anybody missing out on this. But Bobby Cox seemed very contented with it. Harry Wendelstedt has explained it. And he will go back to home plate. All right, while he's doing that, let's show you how the Braves will line themselves up defensively. It'll be Ryan Klesko in left field. Braves yet have not taken the field until all this is sorted out. Marquise Grissom in center field. Jermaine Dye will be in right. Third baseman is Terry Pendleton. At shortstop, Chipper Jones. Mark Lemke to bat second. Mark Lemke to play second. Fred McGriff will be at first base. Javi Lopez behind the plate. There's your umpiring crew.
And Don, I found out the problem, and we may have a big lineup change for Atlanta, because here's what happened. While warming up in the bullpen just a few minutes ago, Steve Paris apparently suffered some sort of injury out there, and left-hander Matt Rubel is now up, and he's going to be the starting pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So the Pirates, that's what all that confusion was about the lineup cards. A last-minute injury out in the bullpen to Steve Paris, the scheduled starter, caused Jim Leyland to insert Matt Rubel as the starting pitcher. Now, whether Bobby Cox will go ahead and change his lineup, we don't know. We'll have to check on that with someone down at field level.
We saw him riding, and we saw Jim Beecham going back in the dugout, and I can almost bet you there will be some changes. There's a look at it. Great shot, guys.
See right
Great
there.
shot.
You see right there, Jermaine Dye in the number 5 spot, Lopez in the number 6 spot, and Klesko in the number 7 spot for Atlanta. So those are the changes made by the Braves in their batting order. Jim Leyland pointing that out to Jim Beecham. Beecham took the lineup card back to the Braves dugout. Bobby Cox in turn changed his batting order, and a new starting pitcher, left-hander Matt Rubel, will be on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
We're going to take a commercial break while the Braves take the field. When we come back, we'll get it underway.
The biggest night of movies on television.
Third to first, Lopez behind the plate. Here's Mike Bielecki. You're looking at his numbers there. Mike Bielecki, the league hitting only .213 against him. This is his 29th appearance, his second as a starter. Braves have had a lot of injuries to pitching in the second half of the season, and Mike Bielecki has risen to the occasion since the All-Star break. I'll show you some numbers on Bielecki since All-Star break, and it has come at a good time. And they're looking for another good outing. Did a good job his last outing. Didn't get the win, only went 4 innings, but I don't think you could have asked for any more. It's the first time he'd gone longer than 3.
And I think if he's able to keep his pitches under control tonight, where he's not working a lot of deep counts, he may go a little longer in the game tonight. Jermaine Allensworth leads off here in the first and takes the first pitch outside, ball 1. Allensworth, 247, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. Started out the year at Calgary, where he hit .330. And there's a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. That's the first time, Don, I can recall a situation like that with the lineups happening that late.
Yes, because normally you know about it, but if your guy's down there warming up and he can't go to the post, obviously you have to make a change.
If it had been another right-handed pitcher, no changes would have been made, but because Rubel is a left-hander, Braves did change their batting order, although not the players in the lineup. 2-2 the count now on Jermaine Allensworth. It'll be followed by Al Martin and then Orlando Merced. For Allensworth, had a funny looking swing at a high pitch. 1 gone here in the top of the first.
Bielecki with a little more velocity than he had when he left here, and locating it in some good spots. Up and away, a little bit of a cutter. Watch it tail at the last minute. Allensworth pulled off of it a little. Good way for Bielecki to start.
1 down, that'll bring up Al Martin. A couple of hits last night. Now at .294 for the year with 14 homers. And 56 runs driven in. Used to be property of the Braves, signed by the Pirates as a minor league free agent, fouled off 0-1. Pirates going through a spell right now, or they're having difficulty winning. They've lost 14 of their last 18 games and dropped to dead last in the Central Division. Just off the inside corner, 1-1. Now the 1-1 on the way. Bounces one out towards second. Lemke waits for the big hop on to first. Close, but in time. Martin retired. 2 men down. And the batter will be the right fielder, Orlando Merced, who got back into the lineup last night after missing a couple of weeks with a strained calf muscle. And he went 3 for 4 in the game last night. Pirates have had to go a lot of games this year without Merced and Carlos Garcia, 2 of their key members of their everyday lineup. When they've had both of those guys healthy, they've played above 500. They're 32 and 30 when they've got both Merced and Garcia in the starting lineup. Garcia's still out. They expect him back sometime, maybe next week. 1 ball, no strikes. And they are not a team, Don, that has the depth that some of the clubs like Atlanta have. They can't afford to have a couple of their top guys go down at one time. Here's the 1-0 pitch, foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, it would be as though the Braves had lost David Justice and didn't have McGriff, Klesko, and Chipper Jones. That's about the way it would be.
Ken Biggerstaff, the Pirate trainer, no doubt reporting to Jim Leyland on Steve Paris's injury, which happened very late, just before he was about to complete his warm-ups out on the Pirate bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Merced. Pirates have already used 23 different pitchers this year. That ties the franchise record. They've used 15 different starting pitchers this year. Here's the 1-2 on the way, and it's hit high in the air, left center field. That's where Grissom had Merced shaded. Back about 5 or 6 steps, makes the catch. And Bielecki has a 1-2-3, top half of the first inning. Nothing doing for the Pirates. We go to the bottom half with no score.
Good start for Mike Bielecki. Now it's the Braves' turn. Here's their revised batting order. Grissom to lead it off. Terry Pendleton in the 2nd spot. Chipper Jones to bat 3rd. Fred McGriff, the cleanup hitter. Moving into the 5th spot is Jermaine Dye. Javi Lopez moves up a notch. He'll bat 6th. 7th is Ryan Klesko. 8th, Lemke. And 9th will be Mike Bielecki. Defensively, the Pirates have Martin in left, Allensworth in center, Merced in right. The infield 3rd to 1st, Hayes, Bell, King, and Johnson. Jason Kendall behind the plate. And on the mound, young left-hander Matt Rubel out of Cincinnati, Ohio, graduated out of Ames High School, and he's making the jump this year from Double-A ball. He spent all of '95 in Carolina, where he was 13-5 in 27 starts. I'd be surprised if this youngster is right in the middle of their starting rotation next year.
He was working as a starting pitcher at Calgary with a 5-3 record when he was called back up to the Pirates. He began the year with Pittsburgh, then went down, then came back up again, but this will be his first start now since coming back up. Deep to right field off the bat of Marquise Grissom, and on the first pitch in the bottom half of the first inning, Grissom continues his hitting streak. He's on his way to 3rd and will be held up there. That ball took a very long carom off the right field wall, and it took a long time for Orlando Merced to run it down. And Grissom was thinking inside the park home run. He's got a 22-game hitting streak.
After I did the interview with Terry Pendleton walking back up through the tunnel, who do you think was in the tunnel in a sweat working on his stroke? Marquise Grissom. And he kicked it up a notch as he saw the possibility of a triple and maybe an inside the park homer. I said, what's your theory? First thing in the neighborhood of the strike zone, jump on it and hit it hard somewhere? He said, you got it.
9th triple of the year for Grissom. So a noisy start to the bottom of the first for Atlanta. Here's Terry Pendleton, batting .251, 7 homers, 59 RBIs. He's 3 out of 13 with 1 hit in each of his first 3 games back with the Braves. Fouls away the first pitch, 0-1. 22-game hitting streak now for Marquise Grissom. The last Braves to have a 22-game streak. Felipe Alou in 68, Hank Aaron in 71, Ralph Garr in 71. Rolonoff 29 straight in 1976. And that becomes the next goal for Grissom. And Rico Carty at the top with that 31-game streak back in 1970. So Grissom has moved into 3rd place for the longest hitting streak ever. By an Atlanta Brave, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Pendleton.
Terry Pendleton just wants to put it in play. He knows anything not hit back to the pitcher, anything on the ground or any fly ball will get a run in. Choked up on the bat a little bit, just wants to make contact.
Nobody out. Grissom standing at 3rd. And the 1-2 pitch on the way to Pendleton. Trickled foul off the end of the bat. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
I would guess that the Pirates must think that they're going to have a better opportunity to score against Mike Bielecki than they did against John Smoltz. Remember last night?
They played the infield up in the first inning last night.
Sure did.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Right back to the pitcher. Throw to third. Throws it away into left center field. And Marquise Grissom will trot home. What a break for Atlanta. The line drive speared by Matt Rubel. He had an easy double play. All he had to do was throw a strike to Charlie Hayes, and he threw it over his head. So the error by Rubel. The Braves lead it 1-0.
It would have been very easy here, too, if you're the base runner, not to go all the way back and tag. Inside-out swing, he's got him. Marquise Grissom knew he was dead right there. But see him go back and make sure he tagged? Now he can trot home on the error.
So it's 1-0 Atlanta on Rubel's error. And now Chipper Jones, who has an 11-game hitting streak, up to .321 for the year. 5th in the league in hitting, 25 homers, 93 RBIs, 2 hopper to Charlie Hayes. Across the first in time, 2 down. And that'll bring up Fred McGriff. He comes in at .288, 23 homers, 86 RBIs. Had a couple of broken bat hits last night. Maybe that'll get him going again. Inside corner for a strike. Don, sometimes when a pitcher gets a last-minute call like this to start a game, sometimes it works in his favor, sometimes it works very much not in his favor.
Well, sometimes you don't have time to think about getting ready, and so you just go out and go on instincts, and that's good. But most pitchers who are starters like the time to prepare and get into their system and to get warmed up properly. To his credit, though, he took a long time down there. He didn't have the game was starting, but he didn't go on Mike Bielecki's schedule. He went on his own schedule. Possibly something he learned at, Joe Simpson would say, at the University of Oklahoma.
Here's the 1-2 now to McGriff. Deep to left center field. Back goes Allensworth. Still going, still going. Makes a nice running catch on the track out there for out number 3. So some shots off Rubel in the first inning, but the only run that scored his own fault. His throwing error allowing Marquise Grissom to make it 1-0 Atlanta after 1. This will be out of play in the count 1-2. Mark Johnson will follow, and then Charlie Hayes.
Good night to be a pitcher if you can work in the neighborhood of the outside corner. Harry Wendelstad, one of the good ball and strike umpires, but tends to lean a little bit more toward the pitcher if you show you can throw strikes.
That just missed. 2-2. And the count full now, 3-2 on Jeff King. Harry Wendelstedt, who is the crew chief here, also runs a school that many professional umpires have learned the trade at. It's in Ormond Beach, Florida, and you can find out information about it. Any Sporting News or Baseball Weekly, the ad is always in there. It being a professional umpire is something that might appeal to you. Down to first and leadoff walk here in the second, Jeff King. And the batter will be Mark Johnson.
He does a lot of charity work in the Florida area, too. I had the occasion a few years ago to go down there for an event he was putting on. Well received, and he is a well-respected man, not only on the field, but off the field.
His son, Hunter, is a minor league umpire. In fact, he worked the Hall of Fame game this year in Cooperstown. Here's Mark Johnson batting .290 with 12 homers and 36 RBIs.
But that had to be almost as big a thrill for Papa as it did for Hunter to do it. Nice
Nobody
name.
out. King at first.
Hunter's a nice name.
And the pitch to Johnson is fouled away. Runner was going. King will have to go back. 0-1 the count.
You can never just phone in a season. You're all professionals and everybody wants to win. And if you play for Jim Leyland, you will always give 100%. But it is a chance to maybe experiment a little bit, fine tune. I don't know that you would see a 6'7" hit and run guy that often, but it's a chance to open up your offense a little bit and take some chances.
Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way, and it's fouled back. The count 0-2. Well, Jim Leyland readily admitting that he's using the rest of the season to find out a lot of things about some of these younger players. Jermaine Allensworth has been the leadoff spot that normally is occupied by Carlos Garcia, and he was saying the other day that when Garcia gets back, he won't necessarily move him back to the leadoff spot because they want to see if Allensworth can handle that role at this level. So if you're not in contention, it gives you a chance to maybe answer a lot of questions about your future. Off the inside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You find out a lot more, it seems like, about people under adverse conditions, and especially players, than you do. Anybody can be a good guy and work hard when you're winning. But you find out about some character when you're going through the type of season the Pirates are going through and the type of season the Phillies have gone through.
Here's the 1-2, up and in. 2-2 on Mark Johnson. 1-0 Atlanta. We're in the top half of inning 2. Nice crowd on hand. Nearly a sellout tonight. Not very many empty seats.
They had a pretty good size advance sale, but there was a big walk-up today. Got a question for you. Of the ones who bought tickets this afternoon, how many of them do you think bought it because of the name Andrew Jones?
I'm sure quite a few of them did, and I'm sure we're going to see him at some point tonight. I don't think he'll be in that Braves dugout all night long. But let's face it, Bobby Cox has a very interesting situation now, and that's going to be finding playing time for 4 very talented outfielders. The starting 3 he's got out there tonight: Klesko, Grissom, and Jermaine Dye, and of course Andrew Jones. Luis Polonia joining the team this year, but he'll be a player off the bench for this weekend. He'll be a player off the bench. Andrew Jones won't be doing much playing off the bench in his career.
It's fun watching this ball club on the field because there's always a lot of excitement. But about this time of the year, the most exciting place may be over in John Sherholtz's box.
A lot of moves the last couple of weeks.
We're going to get one of our cameras to work in there all the time.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off at the plate, still 2-2. Now, the month of August has been busy time for John Sherholtz these last few years. It's when most of the
And he's like a little kid,
fine-tuned
too.
changes are made.
Isn't he like a little kid, too? Here's some of the things he's done. Opening day roster to now. And you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, Pete. You don't see this very often on a reigning world's champion
And
that has a chance
and a
to
chance
come
to
back.
repeat, right?
Yeah.
Here's the 2-2. Just off the inside corner. 3-2 now on Mark Johnson.
And John is like a little kid who just got an A on his report card when you see him after some of these moves. He's just smiling. That's fun, though. He has done it well. He's earned the right.
See if the runner goes. He is. King running. The 3-2 pitch hit high in the air, foul, left field line. Klesko over near that bullpen and runs out of room. Still 3-2 on Mark Johnson. Mark, a former college quarterback at Dartmouth, in addition to being an outstanding baseball player.
He didn't have any trouble seeing over the lineman. But they didn't run the run and shoot either. Loft and fly.
Bilecki laboring just a little in this inning. He's had 3-2 counts in the first 2 hitters. Another 3-2 pitch with King running. Line drive left field this time. Klesko had to reach for it, but makes the catch for the out. Gets the throw back to second. Jeff King scampers back to first. 1 down.
I think a point you made early in the ballgame about probably his stamina is a little better, and you'd like for Mike Bilecki, you'd like to think he'd be able to go just a little bit longer. But a part of that is going to be predicated on what's happening right now. A lot of pitches, a lot more than he wants to throw, especially here in the second inning.
Yeah, like Terrell Wade, they're going to keep a close eye on the pitch count. Bilecki, when it gets to be around 80 or thereabouts, you'll see that bullpen come into play. Here's Charlie Hayes hitting .252, 10 homers and 59 runs driven in. Takes high and away, ball 1.
When you know you're probably going to have to go to your bullpen, the starting rotation is set up very well. Tomorrow you got Greg Maddux, who almost always gets late in the ballgame. Monday an off day. Then you got Tom Glavine and John Smoltz coming back on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you know you're going to get a lot of innings. and you can afford to maybe be a little bit quicker with Mike Bielecki tonight than you'd want to.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's popped foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the bullpen didn't have to work much last night either, so it's a very fresh group of arms out there. One and one, the count on Charlie Hayes.
That may have been the 3rd happiest person in the ballpark last night with John Smoltz's accomplishment. Obviously, John and his wife Diane, but Bobby Cox, I heard him on a pregame show yesterday. He was genuinely chomping at the bit to get that 20th win for John Smoltz.
Just outside, 2-1. One man out. King, the runner at first, for in the top of the 2nd. Braves up 1-0. Now 3-1 on Hayes. Hayes has not drawn a walk in his last 85 plate appearances.
Maybe one of the reasons that batting average has tumbled just a little bit too. The report we get on him is when he goes into a slump, it's usually because he's swinging at bad pitches and pulling off of them. Very vulnerable to anything on the outer half of the plate.
The count 3-1 on Hayes. Back out of play, full count 3-2. So on each of the first 3 hitters here in the top of the 2nd, Mike Bielecki has run the count full.
Show you an example of 2 different styles of hitting. That's the same pitch there that Marquise Grissom tripled to lead off the Braves part of the ball game. But Charlie Hayes, because the upper half of his body, the front side, is pulling out, all he could do was foul it straight back. Marquise Grissom almost drove it out of the ballpark the other way.
King on the run again. 3-2 pitch, driven foul off to the right, up into the seats.
Right now, you might be, I'm sorry, Pete, you might be tempted, let's go to a breaking ball and try to strike him out. If you get the strikeout, that's good. But if you don't, you cross up the defense. Terry Pendleton a long way off the line. Chipper Jones is covering on the steal, and the whole outfield swung toward right. So if you're going to go to an off-speed pitch, which is going to speed up his bat, you have to almost be 100% certain you can strike him out with it.
Now time called as Hayes steps out. Runner going again. 3-2 pitch. He walks him. Second walk in the inning as Hayes trots down to first. Runners first and second now with 1 out for Jay Bell. And this has been a hitter that has really caused Mike Bielecki some grief. Although Bell's having an off year at .221 against Mike Bielecki in his career, he's hitting .632. He's 12 out of 19.
Jay Bell gone to glasses earlier in the year, having a little problem, or thinking maybe that might be one of the reasons he wasn't picking the ball up. Right now would be a good time for a trip to the mound, either by Terry Pendleton or by Leo Mazzoni.
First and second, 1 man out. There's a strike at the knees. 0-1 on Bell. Gets away from Lopez. That'll be a wild pitch charge to Mike Bielecki as the runners move up to second and third.
Let's take a look at this. It looked like he may have tried to make the catch like a first baseman instead of blocking that ball, because when Javi Lopez reached to try to grab it, it kicked off the heel of his mitt. There was no part of his body there to block it, and it kicked it away from him.
So now Hayes at second, King at third, 1 out. Breaking ball is fouled back 1-2 now on Jay Bell. Missed outside, 2-2. One thing we have not seen Bielecki have this year has been control problems until tonight.
Only 16 walks and right at 50 innings. That's pretty good ratio, and a lot of strikeouts, almost a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
2-2 pitch on the way. 3-2 again to the fourth straight hitter.
And it's not his second or third pitch that's getting him in trouble. It's not the breaking ball. It's not the off-speed pitch. It's the fastball that he's unable to locate. Remember we said early, with Harry Wendelstedt, if you can put it in the strike zone, then you put it near the strike zone, you're going to get the call. That's a lot of pitches for one inning.
Here's the 3-2 on the way. Foul back. Count remains 3-2. Bielecki began his career in the Pittsburgh organization back in 1979. First made it to the big leagues with the Pirates in '84. Then went over to the Cubs. Then Atlanta, then Cleveland, then back to Atlanta, then California, then back to Atlanta for a third time. Another foul ball.
And I think former Brave, you probably know the details of the story better than I, but former Brave Kent Mercker possibly responsible for Mike Bielecki being back here.
Yeah, it was just during a phone conversation the two were having this spring.
They were renting each other's houses, right?
And Mike was not apparently planning on getting back into baseball this year. Hadn't received any offers during the off season. And Kent Merck said, you got to give the Braves a call. They're still looking for some people for the bullpen. Mike did. Only had about a 8-week trial at the end of spring training, but threw the ball well enough to impress Bobby Cox and make the ball club. He's had a good year. Another 3-2 pitch fouled off.
And another tough choice to make on pitch selection. Again, the infield swung way around to the right side. Lemke actually playing a couple of steps on the grass. A lot of room between third and short. A lot of room in left center field.
Again, the 3-2 pitch. Strike three call, says Harry Wendelstedt. Jay Bell thought it was ball four. He had taken about 4 steps down toward first. And Bell's going to complain about the call to Harry Wendelstedt as Bielecki gets his second strikeout.
Looked like two guys just discussing the morning newspaper, reading the sports section. I would have to say, if you're going to argue this is the way to do it, it'll give you a little bit more time. But if you know Jay Bell, he is not one that is going to throw compound words at him. May have had a legitimate argument and handled it very well. Like we said, that's a pitch you don't normally get when you've been throwing it all over the plate. When you've been throwing it all over the park.
Strange way to argue. Didn't say a word till he got all the way right up to Harry.
Let me think this through.
Now they're going to walk Jason Kendall intentionally and go after the pitcher, Matt Rubel. So this will be the third walk of the inning issued by Bielecki.
You had two things happen there, Pete. You had Jay Bell, who knew how to argue, and you had a veteran, calm umpire who let him get his say in, knew he was going to argue. Neither one showed the other up. Neither one provoked the incident. Words were exchanged. There was a disagreement, and it's over. If you're going to argue in baseball, that's the way to do it.
Here comes ball four, intentionally wide to Jason Kendall. So the bases loaded, 2 men out for the pitcher, Matt Rubel, who is 2 out of 9, not bad for a pitcher. He's only struck out twice in those 9 plate appearances. And he gets a chance to help himself here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Pirates down by a run. Upstairs, ball 1. Long inning for Mike Bielecki. That's fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Usually, if you're a spot starter, too, long innings make for short outings.
Here's the 1-1. Right through there for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes now. The Pirate pitcher, Matt Rubel. The 1-2 on the way, and it gets away from Lopez, but not far enough for anybody to go anywhere. 2-2. Jeff King at third, down at second, Charlie Hayes, and over at first, Jason Kendall. And a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on Matt Rubel. Struck him out with a high fastball, so it took a while, but Bielecki gets through the inning, records his 3rd strikeout. Pirates strand 3. Still 1-0 Braves as we go to the bottom half of the second.
Under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or retransmission of the pictures or descriptions of this game without an express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is a flat-out no-no. It's prohibited.
We go to the bottom half of inning 2. There's Luis Polonia back in the Braves uniform. He had been placed on waivers by the Baltimore Orioles a little over a week ago. Had gone unclaimed until the Braves signed him yesterday.
Boy, was he one of 2 really big pickups for John Sherholtz last year. He and Mike Devereaux. What a great job they did down the stretch, including a postseason award for Devereaux.
Ground crew is assembled behind the tarp. We hope there is no rain in the area, although it is beginning to cloud up a little bit here. And here's Jermaine Dye leading off the bottom of the second, batting .295 with 6 homers, 19 RBIs. First pitch swinging, lines a base hit into right field. Hit number 2 allowed by Rubel, and Dye aboard as thunder rumbles in the distance.
Yeah, either there is rain in the area or somebody has misdated their 4th of July fireworks show. Good piece of hitting. He got a breaking ball out away from him. Didn't try to pull it. That's what that left-hander wanted him to do. Picked himself a hole on the right side, got the inning off to a good start.
And you can see some of those dark clouds building out beyond the outfield wall. Javi Lopez, .282 with 18 home runs. He takes a strike in the outside corner, 0-1.
Check his lead. They use that trick play, and Jermaine Dye not really too sure how to handle this for right now. Short lead.
Left side of the infield, Charlie Hayes gets a glove on it, going to second, just in time. Good play by Charlie Hayes, took a base hit away from Javi Lopez.
And that trick play that they have got them that out at second.
Yes, it did.
Because if Jermaine Dye has a 2-step more lead, he beats this. Good play by Charlie Hayes. Watch how close it is at second. Bang, bang play. King playing it like a second baseman. Here's how close it is. The difference in a 2-step lead.
So there's 1 out in the inning now with Lopez the runner at first, and Ryan Klesko steps in. Klesko normally in the last couple of weeks hasn't gotten many starts against left-handed pitching. And you see Jermaine Dye checking with Bobby Cox saying, how do I handle that next time? Fouled away by Klesko, the count 0-1.
And believe me, he will handle it next time. He is a quick learner. He may go from here talking to Clarence Jones. He may go from here and talk to Marquise Grissom, who handles it so well they don't even run it against him.
Here's the 0-1 now to Klesko. It's up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan against left-handers this year, hitting just .238 with only 2 of his 28 home runs. So although his numbers are good for the year, he has struggled some against lefties. He's hitting over .300 against right-handed pitching. Here's the 1-1. Comes up empty and an off-speed breaking ball, and the count 1-2.
Javi Lopez a bit befuddled too. Watch his short lead. That's about a step and a half.
Two and two, the count now on Klesko. Well, the way that's supposed to work over there at first base, the way Johnson is playing, if a runner gets out there right behind him, they believe that if a throw is made with Johnson breaking back to the bag, he's going to get the runner every time.
Yeah, he's going to beat him to the bag.
So the runner does have to cut his lead down by a step or two, but should be moving when the ball is delivered. That ball delivered off the bat of Klesko, deep right field, and gone. Home run number 3 off left-hand pitching for Ryan Klesko this year. His 29th homer of the year, and the Braves lead it 3-0. Isn't it funny how things work out? If Matt Rubel had been announced 24 hours ago as the starting pitcher for tonight's game, Ryan Klesko would not have gotten the start.
And if Matt Rubel hadn't gone to the breaking ball one too many times and left it in the middle of the strike zone, watch the extension. A flat slider, belt high down the middle, and a heck of an effort by Merced. He comes close to making a play on that.
3-0 Atlanta. Mark Lemke steps in. Lines the first one foul out of play.
It was 3 weeks ago today that Ryan Klesko got his last homer.
Lemke at .259 with 4 homers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside corner, 1-2. Still a ball and 2 strikes on Lemke. Still 1-2. Rubel, one of those pitchers, doesn't throw many fastballs. His fastball is almost the changeup for him. Throws a lot of off-speed breaking balls.
And if he does throw the fastball, it looks like on righties he's trying to cut it in on their hands.
Here's the 1-2. Outside corner, strike 3 call, says Harry Wendelstedt. Lemke. Bob looking for a strikeout for Rubel, out number 2 in the inning. And the batter will be Mike Wilecki.
Inside, 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 and dropped the backdoor slider on the outside corner. Very easy to give up on it. Big breaking ball. Good job of framing it by Kendall.
Wilecki 0 for 3 as a hitter this year. One ball, no strikes. That's over at the knees, 1-1. Bounced up the middle. That might get through. Nope. King gets to it on the cut of the grass and throws out Wilecki for out number 3. So that'll do it for Atlanta in the second, but 2 more runs on the board thanks to a Ryan Klesko home run. We go to the top of the third, 3-0 Atlanta.
They are. Chicago outslugged Houston in Wrigley Field. Cincinnati sneaked by Colorado. Jeff Brantley got the save. Game 2 just about to get underway. San Francisco has struck first. Barry Bonds his 31st homer. Florida and St. Louis in a tight one. Ron Gantz home run the difference in that one. In the American League, here's what's going on. Cleveland by 3 over Detroit. Seattle outslugs New York. Griffey home run number 37. Elsewhere, Baltimore a loser to Oakland. California getting shut out by Roger Clemens. Stanley a homer in that one. And all the rest of the activity coming up a little bit later. We'll get you that about the 8th inning.
And you could see a moment ago how the wind is picked up here in Atlanta. The storm clouds building. Jermaine Allensworth, 1 ball, 1 strike. He struck out his first time up. Allensworth out of Purdue University. In fact, if you look at the Pirates who have made it through the farm system up to this big league club like Allensworth has, you'll find that most of them are college players, and there's a reason for that. Jim Leyland, talking about it earlier this year, said that we don't have the wherewithal to go out, financial wherewithal to go out and sign a lot of high-priced free agents and even trade for a lot of high-priced players, being a small market team. So we have to draft a little differently. He said teams like you, referring to us, Atlanta, He said, you can draft good athletes out of high school and make them into baseball players and take 4 or 5 years to do it. He said, we have to draft baseball players. We have to draft guys who have already shown that they have a lot of baseball ability. And therefore, most of their draft picks come out of college. That's the 4th strikeout for Bielecki. Second time he's gotten Allensworth. Now Al Martin will step in.
Second time a call strikeout, too. 2 of the 4 call. Again, almost the same spot in the neighborhood of the outside corner.
Martin grounded out to second his first time up. Pirates had the first pick in this year's draft and signed recently Chris Benson out of Clemson University. He will join them next spring. He'd already worked over 210 innings between his college and USA team in the Olympics baseball, so they're going to give him the rest of the summer off. Lemke throws out Martin for the second time. 2 gone.
Well, what they can do with that philosophy, Pete, they can start a lot of players at AA, maybe AAA, even take them into spring training that first year, and they're letting the colleges, and they're getting some out of some pretty good programs. The colleges are basically doing their rookie league and their Class A work for them.
2 gone quickly here in the top of the 3rd. Braves up 3-0. And Orlando Merced, who flied to center, will step in.
If you're drafting pitchers like that out of college, if you're drafting high school pitchers, your first thing you want to know is how hard does he throw? If you're drafting like that out of college, the next question you want to know is, can he get people out?
1 ball, 1 strike on Merced.
There are a lot of people who have been drafted who can throw 95 miles an hour who never do learn how to get anybody out.
Yes, we have seen some of those. Upstairs, 2-1. It's all around us, folks.
And there is a small hurricane blowing on top of the stadium.
3-1 the count now on Merced. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and there's another walk, the 4th of the game issued by Bielecki. So he's walked 4, he has struck out 4, he's only given up, well, he hasn't given up a hit yet. And the batter will be Jeff King, who drew a walk back in the 2nd inning. Ball 1.
See, when you walk people, if you don't walk people, you make one mistake and it doesn't hurt you that badly. But if you walk people, and sooner or later a major league hitter will get you. If you walk people, then you make that mistake. All of a sudden, it makes it a whole different ball game.
There's a strike in the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two, the count on Jeff King. If you want to have some fun talking about how walks hurt pitchers, just pick up the box scores any morning, go through the box scores, and check to see how many times the number of runs a pitcher allows exactly equals the number of walks he has given up in the game. It's uncanny how many times on any given day you will find that to be the case.
Unless you can strike out 12 or 14, and unless you get 3 or 4 double plays behind you. Those are about the only 2 kinds of pitchers that can afford to walk a lot of people, and eventually they get burned too.
Here's the 1-2. Taken high, 2-2. 68 pitches thrown already in the game by Bielecki. We're only in the top of the 3rd with 2 outs.
What's the danger zone that they've been working with?
About 80.
About 80.
So he's getting very close to that level, and we're only in the 3rd inning. On the ground, that might get through, and does. Beyond Chipper Jones, base hit left field. Merced will take a turn at second. Hold on there. And that's the first hit allowed by Mike Bielecki. Also the first career hit in 10 at-bats for Jeff King off Bielecki. And the batter will be Mark Johnson. Johnson flied out to left his first time up. Another example of a college player out of Dartmouth.
He's also a guy who, with one swing of the bat, can make that walk that we were talking about hurt you.
Back out of play, the count 0-1. First and second, 2 outs. We're in the top of the third. Braves leading at 3-0. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Final game in this series tomorrow afternoon. Greg Maddux going against John Lieber. Braves are off on Monday, then Cincinnati comes to town. 1:05 right here on TBS tomorrow for the final game in this series. Well, he's got a home run cut, doesn't he?
I guess if you give up 475 every now and then, it's only natural, even this far removed from the field, to flinch on a swing like that.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. It is a foul ball just beyond the bag at first. It remains 1-2.
Goes to the off-speed pitch here. This is very close. It took a tricky hop, too. I don't think Fred McGriff would have been able to get to it, but you could see it missed the bag by a matter of inches.
Two men out. King at first, Merced at second. Another 1-2 pitch on the way, and that stays high. Ball 2, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 on the way. Fouled off.
First time we saw Johnson would have been last year, and he has become a more disciplined hitter, has a better idea of the strike zone. He was a little bit of just a wild swinger when we got a look at him last year. Struck out 66 times in about 220 at bats, but he has really picked up a better knowledge of the strike zone.
Again, the 2-2 on the way. Deep to right field. Back goes Jermaine Dye to the wall. He's got it right up against the wall. So Bielecki flirting with some serious trouble on that pitch. But Jermaine Dye hauls it in for out number 3. The Pirates strand 2 more. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still 3-0 Atlanta. Two nothing. It's now 3-0 on Pendleton. Four straight. Pendleton draws a walk. That's the first walk issued by Rubel. Pendleton down to first. That'll bring up Chipper Jones. He grounded out to third his first time up. He's trying to extend an 11-game hitting streak. We mentioned his first time up. He's all the way up to 5th in the league in hitting. In fact, when the day began, only 19 points separated Chipper Jones from the top spot in the league. Mike Piazza started out the day hitting .340. Chipper was at .321 at the start of the day.
A lot of that he's done against the Pirates, too. He's hitting close to .370 against them this year.
Checks out Jimmy Williams down at third. The 0-1 delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, one of the ways he's climbed up there is that since the All-Star break, you might win a bet or two if you'd have run this past him. Maybe as much with the guy in the second spot as you do with Chipper Jones. 2 best hitters since the All-Star break, Jones and Eric Davis.
Way outside, 2-1. Pendleton chased back. 1 man out. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Braves. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Pirates. Here's the 2-1. Chipper Jones with a runner going sends a fly ball deep left center field, but Allensworth's going to have a play in it out there. And Pendleton will have to return to first, 2 men down. And that'll bring up Fred McGriff, who flied to center his first time up.
See different managers with different philosophies on who to use in the hit and run. A lot of managers will not use a Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, or Ryan Klesko. Those are your power guys. And sometimes on a hit and run, you force them to swing at a pitch not in their happy zone. May have happened that time with Chipper Jones. He had to go down about ankle high and dig one out.
2 men gone for McGriff with Pendleton still at first. Comes up empty in the breaking ball, 0-1. Matt Rubel, an emergency starter tonight when Steve Paris injured his arm while warming up. Delivers the 0-1 to McGriff. Low and inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Terry Pendleton will take the turn to second and now take off as the ball gets by Merced. Pendleton all the way around third, heading home. McGriff on his way to third. Another Pirate boot. Another Atlanta run. 4-0 Braves. Terry Pendleton was going to stop at second base. But when Merced had the ball get by him, he was able to go all the way around with the Braves' 4th run of the night.
Like you were saying, out of character for the Pirates. Usually a good fielding team. Tried to play it on the in-between hop, and it scooted between. Terry Pendleton sees where the ball is hit. He's thinking, I'll stop here. And all of a sudden, he has to find another gear. Checks out Jimmy Williams at third, checks out the play, and can coast all the way home. One more time, Rubel went to the curveball once too often to a lefty.
Now Jermaine Dye had a base hit his first time up. Fouls off the first one, the count 0-1. Pendleton was going to stop at second for a couple of reasons. Number one, the ball was so sharply hit by Fred McGriff. And number two, Merced's got a great throwing arm. And it would have been a real test had there been a play at third. But the boot enabled him to go into cruise control.
And right now he was looking for the gas pump there.
Luis Polonia now can fly. He's saying, what's so tough about that?
Yeah, guys with speed always laugh.
What's so tough about going from first to home? Nothing to it. Here's the 1-1. High and deep to left field. Martin going back on the warning track at the wall, off the top of the wall and gone. Home run, Jermaine Dye. And the youngsters continue to do it for Atlanta for Jermaine Dye. That is his 7th homer. RBIs number 20 and 21. And the Braves now lead it 6-0.
Well, I got a name for the stadium across the way. You can call it the daycare center, the way the young guys are coming into this lineup and producing. More runs driven in the last couple of days by guys who don't shave any time in a long time. Almost got it in on his hands. That's where they're trying to pitch Jermaine Dye, but he got enough of it to hit the top of the fence and get it up over the fence.
6-0 Atlanta. Javi Lopez first pitch swinging. Deep short. Long throw by Bell on the first. Just got him. And that is out number 3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. But almost before the Pirates have gotten anything going here, they're down by 6. 6-0 Braves as we go to the top half of the 4th inning.
You know, heartburn medicines have been around for years. First
in the bottom half of the inning. Well, right now, Mike Bielecki needs an economical inning, Don. He's got a 6-run lead.
And you got to go 5 to get the win, and Mike Bielecki knows he needs to get out of this inning with a minimum number of pitches. He'll face Hayes, Bell, and Kendall. First time up, Hayes drew one of the 4 walks issued by Bielecki, and he takes ball 1 outside. A little bit low, and it's 2-0. Who does the pitch counting in the dugout? Is that Leo Mazzoni with his clicker?
Yeah, Leo has the clicker down there.
Hayes skies it to the right side. He chased one cat bill high. A lot of wind above the stadium, so that was not a routine play from Fred McGriff.
It started out being a routine play for Mark Lemke, but the wind got a hold of it. That's exactly the way the wind is blowing from left field straight in.
Here's Bell. Here's that pitch counter we were looking at, and I know our pitch total differs a little from that of Leo Mazzoni. His is a little bit lower.
Well, he doesn't count intentional walks. He doesn't count the 4 pitches thrown there. He feels that there's no strain on a pitcher's arm, that those are just like warm-up tosses.
Boy, when Gene Mock started putting me on a 100-pitch total, I wish I'd have had Leo around to count them for me. Could have maybe gotten 104, 108 out of it. 0-2 to Jay Bell. Bell struck out looking. Gave a class and diplomacy right after being called out on strikes. Came back and did a little bit of arguing with Harry Wendelstedt very tactfully. Didn't win it, but at least scored some style points. That's outside. They'll leave it at a 2-2. Activity in the Pirates bullpen.
Dave Wainhouse, who pitched last night, is up again.
And there's a look at Mr. Wainhouse. The 2-2 pitch to Bell. Drill right at Mark Lemke. He'll take one for the team and still get the out. That's the way to stay in front of a tricky ground ball and make the play and carry a bruise for it. A lot of guys would have olayed that one.
And that's why a middle infielder's chest at the end of a season sometimes looked like a map of the 7 seas. All those bruises that you get there from knocking down hard-hit balls.
But pitchers appreciate it when you stay in front of it like that. Quickly 2 gone, and Bielecki making the most of few pitches. He'll face Kendall, who was intentionally walked, one of the 4 pitches that does not count against his total. There's ball 1 outside. There's ball 2 outside. I do agree with the theory there. There is no strain. It's just a kind of little lollipop stuff.
Every pitching coach has a different way of doing it. Some feel that every pitch thrown must be counted. Some even count throws to first.
Yes, I have seen that.
And Leo does not count throws to first.
Some pitching coaches don't count. First the pitch grounded through into left field. That'll make his innings work a little bit longer. Base hit. Is that Mike Kingery? Looks like it's going to come up and pinch hit. Yes, it is. So that will finish the short night for Rubel. Pressed into emergency service and went 1-2-3 against the Braves. 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the second, and 3 runs in the third. Two gone, runner at first. Kingery fouls away the first one. At 249, he has 55 hits this year. 2 of them are homers. 21 RBIs for a really good guy and a good pinch hitter. He takes a strike, finds himself in a hole. 0-2. 9 out of 33 coming off the bench, a homer, half a dozen RBIs. Remember, he did a couple years ago. He did a good job in this role for Colorado. To left field. Klesko on the run. Watch out for the lights. But he makes the play. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one left. Excitement in left field.
Dave Cowens and Bill.
To tonight's Aflac trivia question, which was who holds the record for the most National League batting titles? One of the all-time Pirate greats, Honus Wagner. 8 batting titles. First one in 1900. The 8th one in 1911.
Still cloudy skies overhead. Still a lot of wind. But thus far, no rain here at the stadium. Beautiful skyline here in Atlanta. Pirates will go to their bullpen. Second pitcher of the night, David Paul Wainhouse. A right-hander out of Toronto, Canada. Now makes his home in Kent, Washington. Out of Washington State University. If the name sounds familiar to you and you are just Braves fans, you may recall back in '91, he was in camp with the Montreal Expos, had a cup of coffee up with the Expos, moved from there to Seattle. The Pirates signed him as a free agent. Ryan Klesko will greet him, and takes ball 1. He joined the Pirates in January this year. There's a strike to Klesko. 1-1.
Interesting story down on Honus Wagner's name just popped up in the Aflac trivia question answer. Give it to you after this pitch.
Outside, 2-1.
He is one of 8 Pirates who have had their number retired by Pittsburgh. Now, old-timers will say, no, wait a minute, they didn't wear numbers back then. How could he have his number retired? He came back as a coach in the 40s and 50s. They retired the number that he wore as a coach, number 33. He never wore a number when he played. I've never heard of that happening in any other retired number situation.
2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air, right around home plate area. Who wants it? This is going to be tough because of the wind. But Jason Kendall sticks with it. And Wainwright gets the first that he faces. Klesko is gone. Good play by Jason Kendall. That'll bring up Bart Lemke. Wainhouse started the year with Carolina. Then he was called up maybe next to the last day of July. He was in 45 games for the Carolina Mudcats, and I have to get one of their hats. Before the year is over, I'm going to get a collection of some of the minor league hats. First pitch swinging, slow roller to first. Johnson will take it himself. There's the second out in the inning. I got one the other day. As we wait for Bielecki to make it to the plate, golfing buddy brought me a Lansing Lugnuts hat. I love that one.
It's great what the minor league teams have done. For so many years, the minor league teams just took on the name of their major league affiliates. Whoever the major league affiliate was, that was the same nickname used by the minor league team. But then the last 5 or 6 years, almost every city has gone to some kind of a unique nickname and a unique logo and a unique look.
And good for them. They're picking up a few
Great
bucks.
marketing.
Great marketing. I know there's some good ones in the, is it the Louisiana Texas League or whatever it is? Comebacker. Wainhouse will make the play. And he has himself a nice, easy inning. Klesko, Lemke, and Bielecki go 1, 2, 3. That means we've completed 4. For the first time tonight, the Braves didn't score. 6-0.
In action, Jerry Rice leads the 49ers into Jacksonville Municipal Stadium to face the Jaguars. Vern Lundquist and Pat Hayden will have the call. 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night, the NFL on TNT.
Here we're in the top of the 5th inning, and it's a big half inning for Mike Bielecki, a 6-0 lead. He's already thrown quite a few pitches. Nobody moving in the bullpen, but he needs to get 3 quick outs here to get a chance to pick up his 4th win of the year. Top of the batting order, Allensworth to lead it off. Up, here they come. That is Hartgraves who will start the throw. 2 quick strikes on Allensworth.
Well, I know what Bobby Cox would like to see here is Mike Bielecki get through this inning quickly. He's thrown 90 pitches through the first 4 innings. I doubt they'll let him go much past 100.
Still 0-2, but he is giving him a chance here with the pitch total up to get a win. Seems like there's always something good happens when you come to the ballpark. I'll tell you. right after this pitch. 1-2. You and I were sitting up here today, and when we finish our work as we're getting ready to go on the air, there's usually a little bit of a lull. 2-2 the count. And we look out over the crowd and see a lot of familiar faces and people that we always see here down below us, but real charge tonight, looking off to the right. That's back our way. 2-2. I broke into baseball with the Santa Barbara Dodgers in April of 1965. My starting left fielder on our team there was a guy named Dave McCammon, who had been drafted out of the Boston Red Sox organization. I had not seen him in years. Looking off to the right, we make eye contact. He is at the game, and nice to see some teammates from minor league days. Another foul ball, and it's still 2-2.
Did you find, as I did, that some of the friendships you made in the minor leagues are a lot closer than some of those you make in the major leagues?
Oh, yeah, because I think that...
Because you're all at the same stage of your career at that time.
And you're all headed for the same direction. You're not competing for the spotlight in the big leagues or for wins in the big leagues. You're all trying to pull for each other. Hey, Pete, have a good day today. Now, you know, they're watching. Or
it's a whole different environment.
Little looper to right field. Late break by Jermaine Dye. Did he get it? I think so. Nice play.
Might have jammed his glove hand just a little bit, too, and he dove for that ball. He continues to shake the glove hand as he walks back to his position. He took off just a little too soon, maybe. And you could see to cushion his fall, he had to put the glove hand down, so he may have jammed his wrist just a little bit.
Right there's where you worry about it popping out of the glove, but he rolled over and put it up on top. So good play by Jermaine Dye. That'll bring up Al Martin, who's had his own little pepper game going with Mark Lemke. He is twice grounded to second. Doesn't get the fastball. 1-1. Yeah, because I think there is, well, you travel with buses a lot of times.
Right.
You have you spend more time together because normally at the big leagues, everybody's established their own lifestyle and a whole different circle of friends. Usually in the minor leagues, there are probably fewer married guys with families at the minor leagues, and there is a closeness.
And in many cases, you break in at the Class A level, you move up to Double-A with maybe 9 or 10 of the guys you were in Class A with, and you move up to Triple-A with 8 or 9 of those guys, and there's always a group of at least a half dozen players who have played at every level of the organization together.
Base hit to right field for Martin. For the Pirates, only the third hit of the night. Three singles, one by King, one by Kendall, and now one by Martin. He'll stand at first for Orlando Merced. He's flied to center and walked, but he's had a tough night in right field. That's going to be a tough play for Marquise Grissom. But Marquise Grissom has a way of making tough plays look easy. 2 outs.
And credit to positioning again by the Braves defense for being responsible for that one. He was shaded over toward left center field. Only had to go about 6-7 steps to get to it. If he's playing straight away, that's at least a double.
As it is a ho-hum second out, and Mike Bielecki just 1 out away from getting through the required 5 innings. He needs to get out Jeff King, who has been on base twice. There goes the runner. Play a little hit and run. But Martin will come back to first as King fouls it back into the crowd. No balls and 1 strike. Some great experiences in the minor leagues. Didn't spend a whole lot of time there, but we had a 2-bedroom apartment at Albuquerque, and there were 4 of us in it. And, you know, you kind of pack in pretty good. I did have one roommate, though, who would buy orange juice and mark it on there, the level with a magic markers. You know, you share one refrigerator, you have your own stuff. He'd buy the orange juice and he'd pour a glass out, take his magic marker and mark the level. We fixed him, we'd get some out and refill it with water. 1 ball, 1 strike. Make it 2-1. What a culture shock it was for me. I think I had been west of the Mississippi once, been in 3 states maybe, and then go to Santa Barbara to play. It was a real change. Make it 2-2. Jeff King comes away empty on a high fastball. Pete Van Wieren, Don Sutton with you for one more out. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey on the way over. They'll wrap it up for you. Braves lead at 6-0. Mike Bielecki has had to labor, but he's got some breaks from the Braves hitting and some defensive lapses by the Pirates. Again, the runner on the move. There'll be no throw. Call strikeout. So a nice inning. That's 5 strikeouts for Mike Bielecki. Gives up 1 hit, leaves 1 stranded. Here's a look at a play that was a big one in the inning. We're halfway home, 6-0 Braves.
To the 5th inning here in Atlanta, and a lot happening as the Macarena gets going here between innings, being led by a lot of the ushers and some of the security personnel here at the ballpark. Braves on top 6-0, so a fun night, and it is an official contest. Joe Simpson and Skip Carey with you as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Marquise Grissom will lead it off for the Braves. He has tripled and extended his hitting streak to 22 games. Now, I'm not sure what's going on right now, but a discussion with Mike Winters from Milton May. I don't know if he got tossed between innings or not, but a big complaint after Jeff King was called out on strikes by Harry Wendelstedt. And maybe Milton May took up the argument for some of his hitters. Grissom takes a strike. Looks like Milt was headed down the tunnel. So we'll have to assume he's been ejected from the game. Oh, 0-2 to Marquise. Breaking ball, did he go? No, says Rich Riker. Still 1-2. 39 hits in the 22 games. That's out of play. I think if you just watch that security officer that was on the dugout leading the crowd, I think you'll be in business.
I was in transit, Joe, and was unable to enjoy that.
You were practicing somewhere, weren't you?
No.
2-2 to Grissom.
So I spent the day there. Some very prominent people getting involved in that.
Macarena stuff. Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What happens? I look next door and there's John Scherholz practicing a little Macarena himself. Hot shot to Charlie Hayes. 1 out.
It's a happening thing, no doubt about it. That was funny last night in New York. They had this big Macarena thing, and halfway through cleaning the infield, the grounds crew all dropped their rakes and stuff, and they started doing it. The crowd went nuts. Crowd's going nuts in New York every day now. They can't win a game.
They got blistered again today, didn't they?
But Baltimore lost as well, so it's still 5-0.
Terry Pendleton is lined back to the pitcher. He has walked and scored a run. Works that one into center. Allensworth playing shallow on the run. He's not going to get it. And one hops the wall and bounces over. Terry Pendleton put a charge into one to straightaway center field and hit it over the head of the speedy Allensworth. He's got a double.
Another look here, a fastball down and in. Boy, you don't want to pitch in there. I think Allensworth thought he had this ball, but no such luck.
A 1-out double for TP, and here's Chipper. He's working on an 11-game hitting streak, but 0 for 2 tonight. 11 hits in his last 20 at-bats. And takes low. Looks like Mike Bilecki's work might be finished for the night. He had to earn it too. A lot of pitches, but he's, after 5 innings, working on a 3-hit shutout. We'll see if he goes back out for the 6th. Breaking ball down and in makes it 2-0. Hartgraves was up last inning, and he's still throwing in the Braves bullpen.
I would guess that next night is over.
Hartgraves. He's pitched well since coming in to Atlanta wearing a Braves uniform. Two 2-0 to Chipper Jones. He should get a good pitch to hit here. With McGriff on deck. He does, and ropes it into right field. Terry Pendleton got a good jump. He's going to be waved home. Merced's throw goes to second. 7-0 Atlanta. Chipper Jones, 94th RBI of the year.
Chipper Jones is 5th in the league in batting average, 9th in RBIs, 4th in runs scored, 9th in hits with 146 now, 10th in total bases, and 7th in walks. He went down and got a low pitch and just drilled it. He's close to being MVP stock and has a chance to win the batting title. It was only 19 points behind Mike Piazza coming in.
That was a picture-perfect swing, too, at a low fastball. Fred McGriff stands in. He has lined out and singled and gets another one hard on the nose right at the center fielder Allensworth for the 2nd out of the inning. Jermaine Dye, speaking of hot hitters, 9 for his last 14, including a single and a home run tonight. He homered back in the 3rd inning. He pulls his hands in here to get the head of the bat through on that fastball in on his hands. Very strong, great swing. Bounced one right off the top of the fence. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Harry Wendelstedt. 0-1. And he's made 2 very good plays in the outfield. And 2. Seven runs on 7 hits for the Braves. Boy, the offense has come back to life. 5 runs on 12 hits last night. Got him with a breaking ball. Pretty good pitches by Wayne House. He records his first strikeout. But the Braves get another run. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. We've completed 5. 7-zip Atlanta.
Out there now, Joe.
That's Dean Hartgraves. We've got a new pitcher and a new center fielder, Andrew Jones. Beg your pardon, Andrew Jones in center field. He'll bat in the 9th spot. Marquise Grissom gets the rest of the night off. He has extended his hitting streak to 22 games. And Dean Hartgraves will bat in the leadoff spot and take over for Mike Bilecki, who goes 5 innings, allows 3 hits and no runs, walked 4, struck out 5. You see Hartgraves' numbers for the year. That's combined between the Braves and the Houston Astros. This is his 3rd appearance for Atlanta. And with the Braves, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed, and 3 strikeouts. He'll face Mark Johnson, Charlie Hayes, and Jay Bell. Johnson just missed hitting a 3-run homer his last time up. Jermaine Dye made a nice play right up against the wall. Good breaking ball for a strike. 1-1. Johnson out of Dartmouth takes a breaking ball low. 2-1. Did you tell me his degree was in?
Psychology.
Psychology.
And he was the quarterback of their football team for a couple of years and did some pitching.
2-1 pitch. Hit off his foot. Foul ball. Count goes to 2-2.
He's saying to his foot, tell me a little about yourself.
The right-hander we saw last night, Ramon Morel, loosening up for the Pirates in their pen. Dean Hartgrave, 6 feet, 185 pounds, makes his home in Salem, Oregon.
You get a degree in psychology. What do you do next? Is that when you go to medical school and become a psychologist or psychiatrist?
Yes, that's a possibility. Fastball bounced foul off the plate. I guess you could apply it to baseball, too.
It's been known to happen, yeah.
Maybe he's trying to apply a little bit of it on this 2-2 pitch with Hartgraves. Goes after an off-speed pitch. Hartgraves used a little reverse psychology on him. A little reverse spin on that one. 1 out.
Good pitch here. Breaking ball down and away in a perfect spot.
Charlie Hayes has walked, popped up. 0 for 2 tonight. Or 0 for 1, excuse me, with the walk. 2 for 4 last night. Pops up another one. Will that reach the seats? Yes. First row right behind the Braves dugout. And a wrestling match breaks out over the baseball.
Fan from Buford, however, came away with it.
Oh, and 1 to Charlie Hayes. Braves lead it 7-0. They got an unearned run in the first inning. Klesko 2-run homer in the second, 3 runs in the third. Charlie Hayes sends a hot shot into left field. 4th hit of the night for the Pirates. 3 in the third for the Braves, and 2 of them on a home run by Dye, and then another run in the 5th.
Tried to run the fastball in, didn't get it in far enough.
Charlie Hayes got a quick bat. Just when you think he's looking for everything middle of the plate away, he can turn on your best pitch inside if you don't get it off the plate. Jay Bell is 0 for 6 in the series. He was struck out and grounded out tonight. Took a call third that resulted in a long conversation with Harry Wendelstedt back in the second inning. One and 1 the count. Sinking fastball misses 2-1.
This guy's career sort of parallels Jeff Blauser. Good solid hitter for several years, and all of a sudden a big dip like Jeff had last year.
One thing's for sure, it hasn't affected his fielding.
7 errors all year. That's
top fielding percentage in the major leagues. For shortstops. Very solid. And a tough competitor. 3-1 pitch. Called strike, 3-2. Harry Wendelstedt has been more than generous with that outside corner tonight. That's what got Jay Bell his first time around. Stays alive, fouls one off.
There's a big group here from the Hunt Cliff Homeowners Association. Maybe our pal Bill Shaw, Vice President over at Turner, is out here. He lives in Hunt Cliff, I believe. Rich man that he is.
Well, if he is, he's enjoying the 7-0 lead. Breaking ball nowhere near. And Jay Bell trots to first. Charlie Hayes wasn't sure of the count. He's headed to second now, but a little late on the trot to second.
When you're getting ripped every night and you're down 7-0, you try to concentrate, and sometimes you just can't.
2 on, 1 out for Jason Kendall, who has walked and singled.
Now the flags are just sagging up there, so I guess we're okay.
The reports are that all the rain went north of us. Didn't look too promising about the second inning.
See, I didn't want it. See there?
Flags look broken. In the dirt, Lopez corrals it. Everybody has to stay at first and second. And the count is 1-0 to Jason Kendall. Pitcher spot due up next. John Wehner has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle.
Another base runner, and our bullpen will begin to stir.
First time Hartgraves has really run into much trouble in a Braves uniform. He's got a good sinking fastball, good breaking ball. If you can get him to hit it on the ground, might get a double play and get out of the inning. Jones and Lemke cheated up the middle for that. Another breaking ball misses. 2-0.
Funny how it'll happen. You get off to a great start with a strikeout, and all of a sudden things begin to unravel for you.
Two 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball, but that missed low and inside. 3-0. Braves thought he had a strike. So did Bobby Cox. 3-0 down by 7. Let's see if Kendall's got a green light. He does not. Taking all the way, and there's a strike. 3-1. Hayes at second, Bell at first. 7-0 Atlanta in the 6th. Called strike at the knees. Full count. Kendall wasn't sure about that one. And neither was Jim Leyland.
Why don't they just put Jim and Bobby together and they can talk to each other? Save them a lot of money in the long run.
Payoff pitch. Runner's not going. Pitch swung on and hit hard to left field. Klesko on the way back. At the track, makes the catch. Charlie Hayes tags. The throw to third is a little bit short of the mark. Hayes makes it to third base. Bell back to first. 2 out in the inning. Nice play, Ryan Klesko.
Kendall not noted for his power, but he hit this ball a long way. Ryan fading away, had to get set. Couldn't really get much on his throw. And let's face it, he doesn't have the greatest arm in the history of baseball anyway.
And a pinch hitter for Wayne House will be John Wehner, who's hitting .255 on the year, couple of homers, 9 RBIs, but has done very well as a pinch hitter. 7 out of 20 with 2 homers. Hartgraves delivers inside for ball 1. Breaking ball on the ground to Pendleton. He'll go the short way, and the inning is over. Hartgraves gets out of trouble. Gets the ground ball he needed. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. He played 5.5. 7-0 Braves.
My, it's bright out there, which means we've landed at Delta's Frankfurt terminal, one of the brightest terminals in the world. When I say bright, I don't mean...
In the Hall of Fame, who feel like maybe you need some more wins to get in the Hall of Fame. 324 are not enough.
I think that was a no vote right there.
I think it was. A new pitcher, a new third baseman. Wehner stays in the game to play third base. He'll take over there for Charlie Hayes, and moving into his spot in the batting order will be Ramon Morel. Morel also got some work last night, as did Wayne House. Morel worked 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and a couple of strikeouts. Showed a pretty good fastball last night, but only 16 strikeouts in 33 innings so far for the Pirates. And for the Braves, Lopez, Klesko, and Lemke. Javi takes high for ball 1. Lopez 0 for 2. He has scored a run. 2 out of his last 24. Good breaking ball. Count even at 1-1. Foul ball, 1-2. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. No runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Pirates. Good swing and a breaking ball that Morel made a mistake on. Count stays 1-2. The Braves have won 5 out of 6. The Pirates have lost 10 out of 12. Didn't the Pirates have some drawings for a new stadium?
I think so, but I'm not sure whatever happened to that. You know, they still have, the new ownership's done a great job. But they still got, I think, a lot of financial problems.
They just signed their #1 pick, Chris Benson, out of Clemson, and out of Cobb County, here locally.
But even that, and they're absolutely doing the right thing, but they shut him down. He can't even pitch for him this year, because he threw so many innings for his college team going into the NCAA tournament and then the Olympic team. They just said, we'll see you in the spring, so that retards his progress a little bit, but it's a very wise thing to do rather than risk one for him. He must have pitched gosh knows how many.
I wonder if they'll send him to the instructional league a little, you know, for a few weeks just to get indoctrinated in the way the Pirates do things. That might not be such a bad idea. Full count now to Lopez.
The way things are going lately for the Pirates might not be such a good idea.
Yeah, true. Payoff pitch to Javi. Got him with a breaking ball. Took a little off the curve, and Javi out in front. Morel has his first strikeout. Lopez 0 for 3, and that'll bring up Klesko.
Now he's really disgusted in himself. He's fighting it. Well, the guy made a good pitch on him there, no doubt about it. He may remodel the dugout.
Ryan Klesko homered his first time up off a left-handed pitcher, and laces that one that Jay Bell was staggered on, just speared it at the last second to keep it from getting into center field. That ball was smoked.
You hear the expression players use, he snow-coned it?
Uh-huh.
Here's a textbook example, if we can see it again.
And he didn't want to get any closer than that.
No. Here's the old snow cone job. Boy, this ball is hit. Well, trust me, there's a lot of baseball peeking out there.
Jay wanted no part of that one. Lemke takes a strike. Oh, and 1 the count. 1-1 now. Lemmer 0 for 2. He struck out, grounded out. He's been fighting it again a little bit. 3 out of his last 16, 3 out of his last 17. 3 up and 3 down go the Braves. We've played 6, 7-0 Atlanta. Here's what's on deck, brought to you by Armor All. The Pirates round out their series tomorrow afternoon. We'll have it for you here on TBS. Greg Maddux against John Lieber. Then an off day on Monday. Reds come to call Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. TBS will have 2 of the 3 games. Sports South on Wednesday. Hope you'll make your plans to be with us then. We go to the 7th inning of play, and here's Skip.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. Allensworth leads it off, and Gene Hartgraves deals high. 1 ball, no strikes. Larry Walker, Dante Bichette have gone back-to-back in the second game of that doubleheader. See if it reaches the seats. Nope, Lopez hurls the mask away, puts it away, 1 down. Colorado leads 3-1 in the second game. The Reds won the first one 5-3. We'll have all the scores for you on the Delta scoreboard in a little while. 1 away, and Al Martin, the batter, 1 out of 3. Klesko and Dye, 2-run homers tonight. If you're wondering why Marquise Grissom's out of the game, no real reason except he'd already extended his hitting streak. Give him a little rest and get Andrew Jones playing the position he really plays. McGriff to Hartgraves just in time, 2 down. So the first 2 go quietly in the 7th. And Merced, the batter, it would be nice to keep Mark Wohlers out of this game. He's worked a lot lately. He's done very well. Give him a day, then even if you have to use him tomorrow, he's got Monday off.
Had a great conversation with him on a pregame radio visit. He was talking about riding to the ballpark yesterday with Greg Maddux and how they actually talked about Dave Clark and how he had been wearing Mark out during the year and how he might pitch to him if he had to face him last night. And he had to and struck him out to end the game.
The Wohlers are very close to a new addition, too, aren't they?
Yes, they are. He and Nancy expecting a new arrival any minute.
0-2 the count to Orlando Merced. Dan Plesac is in their bullpen. The veteran left-hander. Made him look awful with a breaking ball. 1-2-3, nothing doing in the 7th. We go to the bottom half. Second strikeout for Hartgraves. Braves are freezing. Dave Clark enters the game to play left field for the Pirates, and Dan Plesac is on to pitch as they make a double switch. Plesac, a veteran now, out of Gary, Indiana, lives in the St. Louis area in St. Charles, Illinois. 4-4 with Pittsburgh last year. He's been in the big leagues since '86. He was with Milwaukee from '86 through '92. Then with the Cubs for 2 years. The Pirates last year, 4-4, 3.58 this year. 3-5, 8 saves, a 4.28 earned run average. He's out of North Carolina State University. Andrew Jones bats for the first time in the game. And Mike Mordecai will pinch hit next for Hartgraves, who pitched well again. Jones fouls one back, 0-1. Greg McMichael in the Atlanta bullpen. Hartgraves, 2 good innings. Ramon Morel, an inning, a strikeout. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Joe, have they done the Macarena yet?
Yeah, they did that in the middle of the 5th inning.
When we were switching. It's not fair.
Like I said, I thought that's where you stopped off to practice.
No swing, 2 balls and a strike. Bob Larson runs the scoreboards here, and we're discussing a few very important things. Sorry I was late.
I'm sure they were Macarena related.
No. That foul, 2-2. Inside TV and Matrix talk.
Matrix, I like that.
Yeah, really technical. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I like the headline, the Marietta Daily Journal today. Bill Zach's column. Smoltz keeping up with the Joneses.
He's on a roll. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Fouled at home plate. Still 3-2. Jones a triple and a homer last night. 3 out of 10. 2 RBI. He walked him. So Plesac off to a sorry start. Issues a pass. Here's Mordecai. He hits for Hartgraves, who did just fine. 2 innings, a hit, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. McMichael will come on for Atlanta. 1:05 tomorrow. Maddox and John Lieber will work. Mike hitting .222. He's driven in 5 runs in just 72 at-bats. Always got a good fastball, but high, 1 ball, no strikes.
He's always had a good fastball and a real nasty slider. That's what made him one of the best closers in the American League when he broke in with Milwaukee.
Francisco Cordova is in the bullpen now, arranging. High drive, got way around and hit her into the upper deck, but way foul. That's around Gant territory.
I'll say he got around on it. That was about helmet high, too. Almost like a tennis serve.
There's Cordova. One and 2, the count. Runner at first, nobody out. Andruw Jones can steal a base for you in a 7-0 game late. They may have the stop sign up. Probably do. Double play ball, maybe. Bell up. He has trouble getting it out of his glove. Get 1, can't get 2. Took a little funny hop on him and got deeper in the pocket than he wanted it, but I don't think he gets a double play anyway.
I was actually watching Andruw Jones get his jump off of first base. He got to the bag in a hurry, and I think he was thinking about taking out the second baseman and realized he might have a chance to actually beat the throw and made it a close play at second.
So runner at first, 1 out, and Pendleton the batter. Terry has lined to the pitcher, walked and scored, doubled and scored. If you joined us late, Steve Paris was supposed to start this game, but strained a muscle in his side warming up. So left-hander Matt Rubel started. Grissom greeted him with a triple. Pendleton hit a rocket shot back to the mound that Rubel caught, had a cinch double play, but threw the ball away, and the first run scored, and the Braves have not been hitted. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fifth. We play now in the 7th. High chopper, that might be 2. Look at the veteran, let the ball come to him. Throws to first, double play. If he charges in, gets that ball, turns around, tags the bag, he doesn't get the runner at first. Nicely done. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. The end is
his home runs from Walker and Bichette in game 2 and lead that one 3-1. San Francisco leading Philadelphia. Barry Bonds has hit his 33rd. St. Louis a 1-run winner over Florida. San Diego trailing New York at Monterrey, Mexico, 5-0. Montreal, Los Angeles not yet underway. Good pitching match up there. Facero against Ramon Martinez.
And here we go to the 8th inning. Greg McMichael faced Jeff King, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. 7-7-0 for the Braves. 0-4-2 for the Pirates. Mike Mordecai stays in the game to play third. The pitch. Swung and missed, and Max ahead 0-2. That Mets lead tonight may not be enough. It was 15-0 at one time last night. Padres wound up 15-10. Does the ball carry well in Monterey? It's a small park, I know. It must.
I don't know, to be honest with you. But it may be up in the mountains. Might be some altitude there.
It's 1,600 feet above sea level. Is that a lot?
No.
Just missed outside. 2-2. What's Denver?
That would be a mile high.
Well, how many feet is that?
5,280.
Is it really? He beats the defense there. Then he played way over in left center, and King stands at second with a leadoff double.
Get to science later and talk about how far it is in a mile. After we do the American League scores, Detroit lost to Cleveland 6-3. Jim Thomea's 25th homer. Seattle had home runs from Rodriguez, Buhner, and Griffey. Man, those guys are tearing it up. Palmeiro hit a home run in losing cause at Oakland. Steinbach is 29th for Oakland. Boston shut out California for Clemens, who's 6-11. Chicago leading Milwaukee. Minnesota 5 in the second against Toronto. Kansas City, Texas scoreless after 3.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wizard. And here's Mark Johnson. The stretch and the pitch. Check swing, fouled into the seats. Fans scrabble for the souvenir. You folks just listened to Joe's audition for the Discovery Channel. It's great.
And you know they've got that line of seats, that row of seats at Mile High.
Yes, they do.
At Coors Field. Mile High Stadium, sometimes a dead giveaway in
Well, I didn't know how many feet it was.
Denver. Man,
How much is it? 5,280?
you live near the Mississippi River. You don't care how high things get up there.
5,280?
You got it.
-1 would be 5,279. 0-2 is the count to Johnson. Runner at second, nobody out. Johnson is lined to left, lined to right, and struck out. Frustrating note for him. Couple balls well hit. Low and away. The Braves can get 6 more outs here. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow with Greg Maddux on the mound. Again, he laid off. No swing. It's 2-2. 49,024 the attendance. It is a sellout. So the first 2 games of this series have drawn right at 80,000. The 2-2, a little swinging bunt toward third. Mordecai has it. Across the diamond, good throw, 1 out. Runner at third, 1 away. Johnson is retired. Dave Clark, the batter. He's the guy who struck out on split finger last night from Morris to end the close game.
See how he handles some changeups from Greg Michael, who tries to keep that runner at third base and save the shutout.
Clark hitting .273 with 6 homers, 30 RBIs, and 172 at bats. Runner at third, 1 out. Braves infield back, willing to concede a run for an out. Steerike right in there. Meanwhile, right across the street, some people I really admire, the Paralympic athletes having at it at the Olympic Stadium. Profiles in courage there, folks.
Sure, you talk about some people who work hard on their conditioning. Awfully strong, not only for that race in your arms and upper body, but strong of spirit too.
And mind. I wish I hadn't seen as many empty blue seats. Maybe there's more folks there than it appeared. I hope so. Two balls, 1 strike. Yeah, there's some folks there. We just had a sort of an end zone shot. When does that conclude? Does anyone know? I'm ashamed to say I don't. 25th, so there's still time. There's that change Joe was talking about, 2-2.
This guy's a good hitter. Strikes out a little bit, but he's always been tough as a pinch hitter and as a platoon player.
We'll never forget him for that collision in Pittsburgh. Lopez blocks it. Full count. Many of the fans filing out of the ballpark here, very happy with what they've seen. Payoff pitch due the left-hand hitter. Little chopper past the mound. Now the runner will score. Throw to first in time. They might have taken a shot at King coming in from third, but why? You throw it away, you give him life. This way it's 7-1 with 2 out. It's an RBI for Clark on a 4-3.
And McMichael's thinking about the run, I'm sure. He wished he could have gotten over there and cut it off and then checked the runner, because I don't think King would have run had he been able to glove it. When it got by him, that's when Jeff King broke for the plate. And you're right, Skip. The smart play is to get the out when you've got a 7-run lead.
Jay Bell, the batter. 0-1 is the count. It must be tough, too. Not tough, but a guy like McMichael who's used to coming into the game in a situation where you're up 1, down 1, or tied, to come into a 7-run game, he's not used to this. I mean, it's not a bad deal, but it's just different.
Well, it's a great deal. It's just from the mindset standpoint, you've got to make yourself realize you've still got work to do out there, and you've got an inning or two to pitch, get some work in.
That takes care of Bell and the Buccos. In the 8th, a hit, a run, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's 7-1 Atlanta. On the national anthem, Nelson Liriano in to play shortstop, a double switch, and Francisco Cordova will be the pitcher, and Luis Polonia makes his Atlanta 1996 debut. Come on out and see Luis before the end of the season. You won't see him again until next August. The little guy stands in there. He was a very important cog for the Braves last year. Bobby says he needs some at-bats. He's been hitting a cage in Baltimore, but been out of it for a while. And they need to figure out a way to get him some swings, and that's why he's in there now.
He hit .240 with Baltimore, a couple of homers, 14 RBIs, and also had 8 stolen bases.
A big surprise that he didn't make the Seattle team out of spring training. 1 away.
Yeah, I thought that was a lock.
He was penciled in as their leadoff man. I guess he had a bad spring. In the other baseball, by the way, Cardinals beat Florida 4-3. Ron Gant, his 25th homer with a man out. Cubs slaughtered Houston 12-3. First game of a doubleheader. They changed the scoreboard in a minute. Cincinnati beat Colorado 5-3. Breaking ball strength to McGriff. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times. 1 for 3. Has scored a run. Line to center twice. Very nice to get him going again. Ground ball foul. Get him rolling and Javi rolling, and look out, boy. The Express would be in high gear.
Isn't it funny? Last night he had more hits too. But both of his hits were little flares off the fists. Tonight he's got 1 hit and 2 line drive outs.
Joe Borowski is up to finish this one off, or try to. The big guy out of Rutgers. Cordova. They got a lot of guys in their pitching staff. Cordova, number 67. Mark Wilkins, number 62. Eric's 57. Morrell, 55. Wainhouse, 53. Those are high numbers. Good pitch. McGriff is out of there. 2 down.
Had some good late movement on it.
23 pitchers have been used by Pittsburgh this year, so no wonder the numbers are high. They haven't had many to retire. Here's Jermaine Dye, who could be our player of the game. Stay tuned for that. Balloting is still going on. I'm in the truck. Low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Dye a single, a 2-run homer, and a strikeout.
The thing you got to like about Jermaine, he continues to hit the ball to all fields. Last night with an RBI double down the right field line.
Sidearm pitch is low. 2-0 the count. Many of the fans have headed for home or Buckhead or wherever. Two balls and a strike. Two out, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th. Downstairs. Mets still lead the Padres 5-0. Bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Colorado over Cincinnati. Second game. Bottom of the 4th. 8-4 the Giants lead the Phillies. Bottom of the 7th at the vet. And that's all the National League Baseball up to the minute. Ground ball to short. Mariano waits, fields, throws him out, and the inning is over. 1-2-3, nothing doing in the 8th for Atlanta. We go to the 9th. Joe Borowski on to pitch. 7-1 Atlanta. Couple of changes here for Atlanta. Rafael Belliard checks in to play shortstop for the Braves, and Joe Borowski is on to pitch. Jason Kendall is due to lead it off. John Wayner will hit next in the top of the order. The Braves, barring a total catastrophe, will go to 30 games over 500, 76 and 46. The Pirates will go to 52 and 70. Hey, Phil, what page is Day by Day on, roughly? You know? '51, if you care to look it up in the Braves book. No, that's not it. I should have never answered. Oh, thank you, Joe. Saving me again.
Why did you ask Phil? I knew right where it was.
Yes, because Phil put the book together. He's the only man that can get you the information.
Well, if Phil put this book together, he and I are going to have a little talk.
A year ago, the Braves were 78 and 45. At this juncture. I'll let you boys fight it out. I'll move over here. Glad I could stir that up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Borowski works off the stretch and misses. 3-2. Pedro Borbon up throwing just in case. Off, still 3-2. Wayner knocked that ball down. Some of the crowd boozing, but he's trying to save the fans' injury, and then he flips it into the seats. Kendall tonight has walked, singled, and flied to very deep left field. And popped one up the chute. Lemke calls for it. Look at McGriff. I don't know what he was saying to him, but he had his hands behind his back, and I know he was chirping 1 out.
They do have a great relationship.
It's really funny.
I was just looking at our infield out there. I sure hope a basketball game doesn't break out. We're in big trouble.
Well, Fred's got to get all the boards.
Yes, he does.
Here's Wayner. He grounded into a force play, and now he pops one up. Who wants this one? Lemke hauls it in. 2 down.
It'll be the all-guard attack with Lemke, Belliard, and Mordecai out there. And you're right, Fred would have to be the post player.
This could have been a little bit disastrous. Jermaine was coming hard. 2 out, and here's another Jermaine Allensworth, who was 0 for 4 tonight, 0 for 8 in the series. The remaining fans get to their feet. Little chopper to short. Tough play. Belliard got him, and the ball game is over. Borowski gets him 1, 2, 3. And the Braves go 2 up in this series. Here's Joe.
Our AutoZone player of the game tonight, Mike Bilecki, in his second start. He had to throw a lot of pitches tonight, but he gets the win. He goes 5 innings, shuts out the Pirates on 3 hits. He did issue 4 walks, but also had 5 strikeouts. So congratulations to Mike. He improves his record to 4-2, and Skip and I will be back to wrap things up right after this.